Okay, I cut myself off there. Pressed the wrong button. So here we are again, the moon entering hexagram 21 on January the 18th, Monday night, 8:48 p.m. in Washington, D.C., when real action will likely start. And preparations are finished, so I quickly wanted to show you this image here. That's why I pressed the wrong button. So here you have again the overlay of the hexagrams with the zodiac, and you see that is the 9°30 mark here when hexagram 21's energy is activated. 21 is biting through. That is biting through an obstacle, and this hexagram has to do with taking legal action, with literally putting the bad guy into putting a penalty on it, getting courts involved, doing punishment, and that is that kind of energy, dealing with a difficult situation in a radical way. And then you see the following hexagram, just as we're here, will be 51, another really special energy. 51 is thunder above and thunder below, which is shock, the sudden, the unexpected, the surprise. And then the next hexagram following will be 42, which is increase, when the energy is even pushed into a higher gear, when things get even more dramatic. So Aries is a dramatic sign to start with, and this is really the center part between 9:30 and 26 degrees Aries. These three hexagrams, 21 biting through, 51 shock, thunder, surprise, and increase. So let's now go back here. This is Monday night, and now this chart. Okay, let's look at it a little closer, what this shows us. Orcus is exactly at the ascendant, Nessus at the descendant. I pointed this combination of energies out many times. That's actually one which is in the American nation's birth chart embedded. Nessus at 9 degrees Pisces, Orcus at 9 degrees Virgo. So this that same energy, and it has to do with pathological behavior which is made into a cult. That is that satanic infestation we see all through the American power structures. That is getting exposed now. This is the time, this is the year, this is the really coming down to the day now that this is tackled. At least the initial big start in this takedown, bring it out into the open, making it visible. T-squared by Bianor and Huya. Bianor, the strong man, that energy of taking back sovereignty, standing up for our rights. Interesting also, beside Huya, which I mentioned many times too, Huya resolving past karma and getting healing therapy, which is all coming, which will be very necessary. Again, keep in mind, these are very, very slow moving points. They will be within a close orb of a grand square for quite a while, for probably a few years. Nessus is the fastest, will move out of the orb here probably within a year or two. So what I say is, this is something which has been going on already and is just now coming into the forefront of attention. Furthermore, yes, this is the other one I wanted to point out. The Sun in the last degree of Capricorn as of January the 18th in the evening, approaching the conjunction with Chariklo. Chariklo, Chiron's wife, standing for giving birth, guiding us into a new time. So it is that very last degree of Capricorn, that tail end of being in that situation of oppression and getting through that birth canal into a new time. The Chariklo will enter Aquarius just in 9 days. Starting from the 18th, it will be the 27th. We will get to that in a second. So just bear with me. We have, this is the midpoint chart between the American nation and that moment when the moon is getting into hexagram 21, activating that biting through energy, that really closing in on the enemy and taking action. What is interesting is the moon here. Again, you see this is October 12, 1898. So this is the time-space midpoint between the nation's natal chart in 1776 and our present time. This moves at half the speed naturally because it's a midpoint. So the moon here is at 12 degrees Virgo, and if we just quickly zoom back, you see 12 degrees Virgo. So this is kind of a confirmation. That same degree, this will be definitely very much highlighted, this energy of Orcus and Nessus. So then if we go forward even a little more, I would like to cover here a little more territory. And Tuesday afternoon then, the sun will be entering Aquarius, coming into this new energy which was seeded by Jupiter and Saturn on December the 21st, when the two giant planets had their conjunction at 0.26 in Aquarius. And this is Uranus sign, so Uranus will get even more prominent as it now is the dispositor of the Sun. Uranus-Mars conjunction, again, it just confirms what I said before. Mars-Uranus, that's the military's power, the crude power which we need to take care of this situation, as all legal paths were blocked, because there's so much corruption everywhere. Trump was using up, trying all venues, all legal paths, and he cannot be blamed that this was not possible to deal with. Otherwise, it is the only option. Q mentioned that years ago, that military would be the final solution, and that's what it seems to come to. 80% or so of all the senators and Congress people will be arrested, most likely, because they are all involved. We know that. I guess not most likely, it's pretty obvious, it's pretty clear. So there will be new elections after that. The US corporation of 1871 will be dissolved and the republic will come back. All that has been spoken about many times by different people who have good knowledge, who have done their homework. So that is on Tuesday when the sun enters Aquarius. Then probably by that moment everybody will be aware some big shifts are underway. And just as a final chart, I wanted to show you this one, which is then, as I said, the 27th of January, which I think is kind of the end of that really intense period. Also makes sense. President Trump flew down to Alamo at the Mexican border a few days ago on the 12th actually to give a 20-minute short speech with no really new information. So one wonders why he did that, most likely to make a reference to the Battle of Alamo, which lasted for 13 days. I looked it up. So I for pretty much I'm sure this is a symbol. It's the place where he was, not so much what he said, because as I say, there was nothing really new to be which he conveyed at that point. So the 13 days of starting from the 12th would bring us into the 25th of January, so we can expect this window between the 13th and the 27th be the one where the real action takes place, and again we see it's pushed to the very last minute, almost at least. And this chart is beautiful again in many ways. It has Deucalion rising here in Washington. Again, that is the birth into a new era, if you want, Chariklo being the midwife, which prepares the ground for all the beautiful, wonderful things to take place. Deucalion is a character similar to Noah, which builds the foundations for some new development which we cannot see yet. It's kind of the preparation, putting everything in place so things will be supported when the time is ripe. Very beautiful that this energy is rising here. So we can see in the background everything is getting done, even though the public doesn't see it yet. Then last but not least, I thought I also run the midpoint chart between that Chariklo 27th of January with the American nation. And what is beautiful here is Uranus is rising. It's truly that breakthrough into the Aquarian age, which we are just witnessing, which we are feeling, sensing, which we are totally involved in. It's that pressure of being born, that difficult situation. People who have the full recollection say being born is more difficult than passing away. It's that pressure, that anticipation. So anyway, it's all wonderful in the bigger picture. It is an exciting time. It is wonderful to be alive at this time. And we all chose to be here at this moment. So thanks again for tuning in and listening, and talk to you soon.